The ethereal craft of Murano's glassblowers. Nestled in the Venetian lagoon, Murano, a cluster of islands linked by bridges, emerges as a center of artistry and enigmatic beauty, weaving a tale of fire, art, and human ingenuity. This is a place where the echoes of the past blend seamlessly with the pulse of the present, where artisans breathe life into the most fragile of materials, glass. The art of glassblowing in Murano is not merely a craft. It is a historical symphony, a dance of elements, and a legacy of human expression through the transmutation of sand into splendid forms. The story of Murano's glassblowers is one of mystery and mastery, encapsulating a journey that began over a millennium ago. In the 8th century, when the world was steeped in the Dark Ages, the glassblowers of Murano were already lighting the flames of creativity and innovation. The secret of their craft, guarded with the utmost care, was considered a treasure, a beacon of light that drew in the curious and the passionate from all corners of the known world. As we unravel the tapestry of Murano's history, we discover that in 1291, a decree from the Venetian Republic ordered all glass furnaces to be moved to Murano due to the risk of fires in Venice's mostly wooden structures. This decree was not merely an act of caution but a strategic move that birthed a monopoly of the finest glassmakers in the world. Murano became a crucible where the art of glassblowing was refined, leading to innovations that would shape the course of art history. The glassblowers of Murano were, in many respects, alchemists. They possessed the knowledge of converting base materials into objects of incredible worth, both monetary and artistic. Their skill was so revered that they were granted privileges uncommon for the time, including immunity from prosecution by the Venetian state and the right to wear swords. However, they also lived under strict control, prohibited from leaving the Republic, ensuring that the secrets of their trade remained on the island. The legacy of these artisans is not a relic of the past but a living tradition that continues to thrive. Today's glassblowers of Murano are the custodians of an ancestral lineage, the inheritors of secrets passed down through generations. Each artisan's breath gives form to molten glass, each movement shapes its destiny, and each finished piece is a testament to a narrative that spans centuries. Entering a glassblower's workshop is akin to stepping into a realm where time is dictated by the rhythm of the furnace and the pulse of molten glass. The heat from the flames is a constant companion, a warmth that permeates the very soul of the space. The air is filled with a symphony of sounds: the roaring of the furnace, the clinking of tools, the whisper of the blowing pipe, and the occasional murmur of voices that speak in the language of tacit understanding. The process of glassblowing itself is an intricate ballet of precision and spontaneity. It begins with the gathering of the glass from the furnace on the end of a blowpipe, followed by the blowing of a bubble into the heart of the glowing mass. This is the first breath of life, a delicate moment where the glassblower's skill is put to the test. The bubble must be coaxed and shaped, expanded and controlled. The glassblower's tools are extensions of their hands. The jacks, the blocks, the shears, all wielded with an elegance that belies the strength required to manipulate the glass. As the piece takes form, the colors are added, layer by layer, each hue melting into the next, creating a palette that captures the light and the imagination. The colors of Murano glass are renowned for their vibrancy and depth, achieved through the use of various metal oxides and a profound understanding of chemistry. Cobalt yields a deep blue, gold produces a rich ruby, and copper gives rise to the emerald greens. These are not merely colors. They are the very essence of Murano's glass, the soul that resides within each transparent curve and spiraling design. The techniques employed by Murano's glassblowers are as varied as they are complex. There is millefiori, 1,000 flowers captured in glass, filigrana, where delicate threads of color weave through the clear base, and incalmo, a demanding method where two separate pieces are fused into one seamless creation. These techniques have been refined over the ages, each generation adding their touch, their innovations, and their breath to the evolving art form. But to truly understand the essence of Murano's glassblowing tradition, one must delve into the personal stories of the artisans themselves. Each glassblower is a keeper of history, a storyteller whose narrative is expressed through the silent language of their creations. Their hands, marked by the scars of their trade, are the diaries of their dedication, the chronicles of their connection to the fire. They speak of the challenges of maintaining a centuries-old tradition in a world that is constantly changing, of the joys of creating beauty from the simplest of materials, and of the fears that this precious cultural heritage may one day be lost. Murano's glassblowers are more than mere craftsmen. They are artists, historians, and guardians of an intangible heritage that is as fragile as the glass they shape. Their work is a bridge between the past and the future, a link that connects us to the timeless art of creation through fire, breath, and skill. As we embark on this journey through the islands of Murano, we invite you to witness the magic of this ancient craft, to explore the delicate balance between tradition and innovation, and to discover the stories etched in every bubble and every twist of the exquisite glass of Murano. Chapter 1. A history molded by fire. The islands of Murano are not just a physical space but a temporal one, carrying within their narrow alleys and along their canal banks the weight of history and the lightness of molten silica turned into art. The narrative of Murano's glass is not only about the objects created but the hands that made them, the breaths that gave them form, and the fires that birthed their iridescent existence. The origins. The ancient alchemy of glassmaking. The history of Murano's glassblowing didn't start in Murano nor in Venice but traveled through the sands of time from the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt, where the first glass objects were created. Traces of this evolution are found in the burial sites and ruins of these ancient cultures, with glass beads and decorative items indicating early mastery over this elusive craft. Venice and the birth of a monopoly. The story then sweeps across centuries to Venice, the Serenissima Repubblica, which rose to prominence on the tides of commerce and conquest. By the Middle Ages, Venice had become a crucible of trade, where East met West and where knowledge, as well as commodities, exchanged hands. Glassmaking, which had been a guarded secret among a few, became a commodity that Venice, with its typical shrewdness, sought to monopolize. The decree of 1291, an island transformed. The pivotal year of 1291 marked a seismic shift in the history of glassmaking. The Venetian Republic, fearing the fire that the furnaces brought, ordered all glassmakers to move their foundries to Murano. This exodus was not merely a safety precaution but a strategic move. The Venetian rulers, understanding the value of the glassmaker's art, effectively isolated the artisans, creating a community where their skills could be protected and controlled. The artisans' rise to prestige. In Murano, glassmakers were more than artisans. They were the bearers of a craft that elevated them to a status akin to nobility. They were granted freedoms and privileges unheard of for common citizens, reflecting the importance of their craft to the Republic's wealth and prestige. However, this status came with a golden shackle. The glassmakers could not leave the Republic, ensuring the secrets of their craft remained within the borders of Venice. Innovation and creativity. The heartbeat of Murano. The concentration of talent and skill on the small cluster of islands led to remarkable innovations. Techniques like cristallo, a clear glass that mimicked the clarity of rock crystal, and latimo, a milk glass that emulated fine porcelain, were developed. The competition among the foundries pushed the boundaries of what was possible with glass, leading to a blossoming of creativity and artistry. The guilds and the capitulary, maintaining standards. To maintain the high standards of Murano glass, a guild system was established, complete with a capitulaire, or a book of rules, that governed every aspect of glassmaking. This system ensured that the knowledge was preserved and passed down through apprenticeships, fostering a continual renewal of the craft through generations. Cultural and artistic influence. The Murano mystique. The allure of Murano glass spread across Europe, becoming a must-have for the nobility and the wealthy. The glassblowers of Murano were not just producing glassware. They were creating status symbols, pieces that spoke of the wealth and taste of their owners. The Murano mystique became embedded in the cultural consciousness of Europe, a symbol of refinement and luxury. The threads of history, a tapestry of change. The chapter would continue to weave through the historical tapestry, highlighting key periods and changes such as the Renaissance, when Murano glass mirrored the humanist ideals of the time, and the Baroque era, when the opulence and grandeur of the period were captured in the elaborate glass pieces that were produced. Preserving tradition. The survival of Murano glass through adversity. History was not always kind to Murano's artisans. Wars, economic downturns, and political changes all threatened the survival of the glassmaking tradition. Yet, through resilience and adaptability, the glassblowers managed to preserve their craft, passing the flame of their furnaces from one generation to the next. The legacy of Murano, a reflection in modern times. The chapter would conclude by reflecting on how the legacy of Murano's glassblowing tradition has persisted into modern times, shaping the identity of the island and its inhabitants. It would look at the challenges and triumphs of maintaining such a rich heritage in the face of globalization and changing economic landscapes. Chapter 2. Masters of the Flame. The legacy of Murano's glassblowing is not etched merely in the delicate glassworks that adorn the halls of the affluent or the museums of art, but in the stories of the masters who shaped them. Chapter 2 delves into the lives, techniques, and philosophies of the artisans whose hands have forged a timeless link between the fire and the art of glassmaking. The Maestros of Murano, a day in the life. The chapter begins at dawn, painting a picture of Murano stirring to life. The maestros, or the master glassblowers, are the focal point of this narrative. The reader is guided through a day in the life of a Murano maestro, from the lighting of the furnaces to the intricate dance of shaping molten glass. Apprenticeship and mastery. The journey to becoming a maestro. We trace the journey of an apprentice, exploring the rigorous and often lifelong path to becoming a maestro. This section highlights the dedication required to master the craft, the relationship between the apprentice and the master, and the unwritten rules and traditions passed down through generations. Techniques of the masters. The Murano method. Here, the reader is introduced to the specific techniques that define Murano glassblowing. The vitro e lume, lampworking, soffiato, blown glass, and marine, mosaic glass, are explained in detail, alongside the tools and materials that shape them. The alchemy of glass. Secrets of the material. The chapter delves into the alchemical process that transforms raw materials into glass. It covers the secret recipes for Murano glass, the role of silica sand, and the addition of minerals and oxides that give Murano glass its distinctive colors. The rhythm of the workshop. Synchronization and skill. A closer look is taken at the rhythm and flow of a Murano workshop. The synchronization between the maestro and their assistants is akin to a well-rehearsed orchestra, each movement deliberate and in harmony with the molten glass's ebb and flow. Signatures in glass. The personal styles of Murano maestros. This section celebrates the unique styles of various Murano maestros. Their signatures are not just their names etched onto the glass but the distinctive styles and patterns that mark their work as distinct within the Murano tradition. Challenges and triumphs. The reality of the flame. The narrative does not shy away from the challenges faced by the maestros. The physical toll of the craft, the economic pressures, and the struggle to keep tradition alive in a changing world are explored through personal stories and interviews. The philosophy of fire. The glassblower's view of life. The chapter also touches on the philosophical aspects of glassblowing. The maestros share their views on life, art, and the transient nature of beauty, much like the glass they shape, solid yet fragile. Guardians of tradition. The role of the maestro in Murano society. Here, the role of the maestro in Murano society is examined. The maestro is not just an artisan but a guardian of cultural heritage, an educator, and a symbol of Murano's identity. Crafting legacies. The maestro's impact on the future. The chapter concludes by looking at the legacy of the maestros. Their impact on future generations of glassblowers and the global art community is assessed, and the ways in which they continue to shape the future of Murano glass are highlighted. Chapter 3. The Dance of Fire and Craft. Murano's glassblowing techniques. In Murano's glassmaking, the interplay of breath, movement, and flame creates more than objects of utility or decor. It crafts a legacy. Chapter 3 delves into the rich tapestry of techniques that have become synonymous with Murano's glassblowing tradition, each one a testament to the island's enduring spirit of innovation. The foundations of technique. Understanding glass. Before delving into the techniques themselves, the chapter would open by exploring the nature of glass. This section would discuss the properties of glass as a material, the science of glassblowing, and how understanding these fundamentals is essential for mastering the techniques to follow. The pillars of Murano techniques, from millefiori to sommerso. The core of the chapter would be dedicated to detailed explorations of various Murano techniques. Millefiori, with its intricate patterns resembling 1,000 flowers. Sommerso, showcasing layers of color suspended within clear glass. Filigrana, featuring delicate threads of color, and incolmo, a complex process of fusing two glass pieces to create a single object. The tools of the trade. Instruments shaping beauty. A section would be dedicated to the tools of Murano glassblowing, pontil, marver, jacks, and shears, and how each is employed in the creation of glass art. The relationship between the artisan and their tools would be likened to a musician's mastery over their instrument. Colors in the flame. The alchemy of glass tinting. This part of the chapter would focus on the alchemy of color in glassmaking. It would detail how various oxides and minerals are introduced to the glass to achieve a spectrum of colors, and how the maestros of Murano have mastered this process to create signature hues. Innovation within tradition. Modern adaptations of ancient techniques. As Murano's glassmakers look to the future, they innovate within the bounds of their rich tradition. This section would cover how contemporary artists are adapting and evolving traditional techniques to suit modern tastes and artistic expressions. Personal stories of technique and art. The narrative would weave through the personal stories of artisans who have dedicated their lives to specific techniques. It would offer an intimate glimpse into their challenges, inspirations, and the moments of breakthrough that contribute to the craft's evolution. Technique as expression. The artisan's voice. Here, the focus would shift to how techniques are more than processes. They are the language through which artisans express their creativity, philosophy, and cultural narratives. The symphony of a workshop. Bringing techniques together. The chapter would also capture the harmony of a Murano workshop, where various techniques come together in the creation of a single piece, reflecting the collaborative spirit of Murano's glassblowing community. The transmission of techniques, education and legacy. The survival of Murano's techniques hinges on their transmission to new generations. This section would delve into the educational pathways, from formal institutions to apprenticeships, that ensure these techniques are preserved and passed on. Techniques as heritage. Murano's place in the world. In concluding the chapter, the focus would turn to the importance of these techniques in maintaining Murano's place in the world of art and design, and how they contribute to the island's cultural heritage and global reputation. Chapter 4. Through the Looking Glass. Stories of Murano's artisans. In the heart of Murano, behind the fiery furnaces and amidst the labyrinth of canals, are the artisans whose lives are inextricably linked to the art of glassblowing. Chapter 4 is an intimate portrait of these individuals, each story unfolding to reveal the human spirit that fuels the island's fiery craft. The essence of artisanship. Life beyond the flame. Opening with the crackle of the morning fire, the chapter introduces the artisans as they begin their day. The narrative paints a vivid picture of the life of a Murano glassblower, where the line between personal and professional life blurs amidst the glow of the molten glass. Family ties. Dynasties of glass. Murano isn't just a place of individual craftsmen, it's a tapestry of families intertwined with glass. This section explores the dynastic nature of Murano's glassblowing tradition, delving into the stories of families who have passed the torch through generations. The artisan's journey. From apprenticeship to mastery. Each artisan has a unique journey, a path trodden with challenges and triumphs. This part of the chapter follows several artisans from their earliest days as apprentices, through their struggles for recognition, to the pinnacle of their careers as maestros. In their own words, artisans speak. Drawing from interviews and conversations, this section gives voice to the artisans of Murano. They speak of their inspirations, their fears, the pride in their craft, and their thoughts on the future of glassblowing. The women of Murano. Shattering the glass ceiling. Historically dominated by men, the narrative shifts to the women who have made significant strides in the Murano glass industry. Their stories shed light on the changing dynamics within the craft and the growing recognition of women's roles in this ancient art. A day in the life. The rhythms of glassblowing. Here, the reader is taken through a typical day in the workshop, experiencing the rhythmic dance of glassblowing through the eyes of the artisans. From the opening of the furnaces to the final annealing process, we glimpse the dedication behind each piece. Creativity and identity. Signatures in glass. The personal styles and signatures of Murano's artisans are as distinctive as their fingerprints. This section explores how individual identity is expressed through the medium of glass, with each piece reflecting the personal touch of its creator. Challenges of the craft. Economic pressures and artistic integrity. Despite their passion, Murano's artisans face real-world challenges. This part of the chapter discusses the economic pressures of maintaining a craft-based business and the constant battle between artistic integrity and commercial demands. The mentorship. Elders passing the torch. Mentorship is a cornerstone of Murano's glassblowing heritage. The chapter explores the relationships between the elder maestros and the younger generation, highlighting the transmission of knowledge and the evolution of the craft. Reflections and projections. The future through Murano's eyes. As the chapter nears its conclusion, it reflects on what the future holds for Murano's artisans. The aspirations, dreams, and predictions of the glassblowers are interwoven with the realities of the modern world. Conclusion. The living legacy of Murano. In closing, the chapter reaffirms the artisans of Murano as the living legacy of the island's storied past, embodying the resilience and enduring charm of the glassblower's art. Chapter 5. The fragile future. Preserving Murano's flame. As the sun dips below the Venetian horizon, casting a fiery glow over the waters that surround Murano, the future of its glassblowing heritage hangs in a delicate balance. Chapter 5 explores the fragility of this ancient craft in the face of modernity and the efforts to preserve the flame that has burned for centuries. Introduction. The crossroads of time. The chapter opens by setting the scene of Murano at a crossroads, where the pressure of the contemporary market, the shifting sands of economic viability, and the struggle against the tide of globalization are palpably felt. The narrative introduces the reader to the current state of the glass industry through the eyes of the artisans who are navigating these waters. The heat of competition. Economic challenges. Here, the focus shifts to the economic challenges that the Murano glass industry faces, including competition from cheap imitations and the saturation of the global market. The struggles of small workshops versus larger factories are examined, highlighting the intricate balance between maintaining traditional methods and the need for economic survival. The delicate dance. Maintaining artistic integrity. This section delves into the artisans' battles to maintain artistic integrity in a market that often favors quantity over quality. Stories from glassblowers who have had to make difficult choices between business demands and the artistic purity of their craft are shared. Adapting to change. Innovation in tradition. Despite challenges, Murano's artisans are not static. This part of the chapter focuses on how they are innovating within their craft, introducing new designs, and utilizing technology to both preserve and evolve their ancient art. Environmental concerns. A new kind of furnace heat. Environmental sustainability is a pressing concern, and the glass industry is no exception. The chapter explores how Murano's glassblowers are addressing these concerns, from adopting eco-friendly furnaces to recycling glass and reducing waste. The politics of glass. Navigating legislation and protection. Murano's glass industry is not just shaped by market forces but also by politics. This section examines the role of Italian and European legislation in protecting the craft, including designations of origin and trademark issues. The flame of education. Teaching the next generation. The future of Murano glass lies in the hands of the next generation. This part of the chapter looks at the educational institutions and programs in place that aim to teach the traditional skills to young artisans, ensuring the continuation of the craft. Global recognition. Murano on the world stage. Despite the struggles, Murano glass maintains a place on the global stage. The chapter highlights recent international exhibitions, collaborations with famous designers, and the ways in which Murano continues to influence the world of art and design. The personal touch. Stories of resilience and hope. Through personal stories, the reader learns of the resilience and hope that keep Murano's glassblowing community alive. These narratives provide a human angle to the challenges faced, showcasing the passion and dedication that define the artisans of Murano. Conclusion. Keeping the fire burning. The chapter closes with a reflective look at what the future may hold for Murano. It poses questions about the sustainability of the craft and the ways in which the community, alongside global supporters, can keep the ancient art of glassblowing vibrant and relevant. Chapter 6. Reflections of Elegance. Murano glass on the global stage. Murano's glass, a liquid tapestry of color and light, has extended its influence far beyond the lagoon of Venice, casting reflections of elegance upon the global stage. Chapter 6 explores the vast reach of Murano's craftsmanship, its role in the world of art and design, and its presence in international markets. Introduction. The Glass of Murano, a global phenomenon. The chapter would begin by painting a vivid picture of Murano's glass as a global phenomenon. From the shores of Venice to the high streets of Paris, New York, and Tokyo, Murano's glass has marked its presence, becoming synonymous with luxury, beauty, and unparalleled craftsmanship. The journey beyond borders. Murano's international expansion. This section would trace the history of how Murano's glass made its way across borders, detailing pivotal moments and key figures who introduced Murano's art to the world, and how trade routes and exhibitions helped to build its international reputation. Cultural embassies. Murano glass in foreign lands. Focusing on the cultural significance of Murano glass, the chapter would explore its role in various embassies and consulates around the world, serving as a symbol of Italian culture and artistry in international diplomacy. Collectors and connoisseurs. The prestige of ownership. Here, the narrative would delve into the world of collectors and connoisseurs who cherish Murano glass. Personal stories and interviews would illustrate what drives the passion for collecting these pieces and how they are perceived as investments in art. Design collaborations. Fusing traditions with contemporary icons. The chapter would showcase successful collaborations between Murano artisans and renowned contemporary designers. It would explore how these partnerships have led to innovative designs that fuse traditional craftsmanship with modern aesthetics. Exhibitions and showcases. Celebrating Murano on the world stage. Significant international exhibitions and events that have featured Murano glass would be highlighted in this section, detailing their impact on the art world and how they have served to elevate the brand of Murano on the world stage. The artistic diaspora. Murano's influence on global glassmaking. The influence of Murano's techniques and styles on glassmaking traditions around the world would be explored here. This would include stories of Murano artisans who have emigrated and brought their knowledge to other countries, influencing local practices. Challenges in the global market. Counterfeits and competition. The chapter would not shy away from the challenges Murano faces in the global market, including the issue of counterfeits and competition from other countries with cheaper production costs. It would analyze the efforts to protect and promote the authenticity of Murano glass. Murano today. A brand, a legacy, a challenge. The contemporary status of Murano glass as a brand and its ongoing legacy would be examined, discussing the challenges of maintaining its high standards and reputation in an ever-evolving market. Conclusion. The lustrous future of Murano glass. In concluding the chapter, the narrative would reflect on the potential future of Murano glass in the international context. It would consider the strategies and innovations that may ensure its continued relevance and success. Conclusion. The eternal art of Murano glass. As we draw the veil on our exploration of Murano's glassblowing tradition, we are left with the luminous reflection of a craft that has withstood the test of time. This concluding chapter weaves together the themes of history, artistry, challenge, and resilience, highlighting the enduring legacy of Murano glass and pondering its future in the tapestry of global art and culture. The dance of fire and time. The conclusion begins with a reflection on the ancient dance between the glassblower and the flame, a dance that has persisted through centuries, telling a story of human creativity and the relentless pursuit of beauty. This dance, set against the backdrop of Murano's canals and plazas, is a testament to the timeless nature of this art form. The Symphony of the Artisans. Here, we revisit the artisans, those maestros of the flame, who have shaped and been shaped by the craft. Their stories of dedication, family legacy, and artistic pursuit underscore the personal connection that each artisan has with their work, imbuing each piece with a life story of its own. The colors of innovation. Murano's glass is not just a feast for the eyes but a canvas of innovation. The conclusion reflects on the myriad of techniques and colors that have been developed, adapted, and perfected over generations, highlighting how innovation within tradition has been a driving force for Murano's glassblowers. The fragility of existence. As with glass itself, the craft's existence is fragile. The conclusion discusses the economic, environmental, and cultural challenges facing Murano today. It explores how the very fragility that threatens the craft also binds the community together in their collective effort to preserve their heritage. The global reflection. The international journey of Murano glass has been remarkable, from the chambers of royalty to the modern-day art collector's private gallery. The conclusion celebrates Murano's global influence, examining how its glass has become a cultural ambassador for Italy and a beacon of fine craftsmanship worldwide. The future through Murano's looking glass. Looking to the future, the conclusion speculates on the paths that Murano's glassblowing tradition might take. It considers the role of emerging technologies, the importance of education and mentorship, and the need for protective legislation to ensure that the flame of Murano's furnaces burns bright for generations to come. Preserving the flame. In the final words, the conclusion calls for a commitment to preserve Murano's glassblowing art. It is a call to action for patrons, artists, and the global community to support the survival and growth of this unique craft, ensuring that the story of Murano's glass does not end as a whisper in history but continues to resonate as a testament to human ingenuity and passion. As we close the chapter on the mesmerizing world of Murano's glassblowing tradition, we hope you have been captivated by the dance of fire and artistry that has endured through the ages. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and beauty. If you've been inspired by the stories of Murano and wish to explore more such fascinating tales, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue to uncover and share the world's hidden wonders. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more captivating content.